Our young people have been sold a bill of goods. And for those of you who don't know, a bill of goods means they've been told something that is totally fraudulent. They've been sold a lie that unfortunately they believe through and through. And what is this lie? It's the idea of sexual freedom, that you can do whatever it is you want with your body and nothing will happen. You're free to be you because you own your body. The only thing that can come from this bag of lemons, is not lemonade. There's no way you can make lemonade here. It's just going to be sour. Welcome to Coffee with Temi. How are you doing? I read just recently about, I read an article in one of the newspapers online, and it says it's basically about this woman who is in her mid-40s, and all of a sudden she is in a relationship and she's worried about the number of people she slept with through the years before she met this man. And she doesn't understand why this is bothering her now, especially as she puts it, why did she even do it? Because most of these sexual encounters were unsatisfactory, again, according to her. And she doesn't know why she's bothered by it now in her mid-40s. And when I read it, the first thing that came to my mind really was our young people. Our young people are believing this lie of, I can sleep anywhere with anybody I want. I remember this because I'd spoken to a teenager about 16, 17 years of age, and she had said to me that, sex is just part of social life. It's having a social life, Having sex with someone is just part of your social life. I'd spoken to another university young man who said it's crazy in his campus how, you go out, you don't even have to try to get the girl upstairs to your room. They just assume that, that's where it's going to end up. I mean, if you go for something, even to McDonald's, according to him, even to McDonald's, the next thing is you're going to end up in the boys' room, this is the way the evening is going to end. And I thought, when I heard that, I was really, really concerned when I heard that. And now when I read this and I read the comments that came after, some are looking at it like, you shouldn't be bothered, a woman can do what a man can do and all of that. But I'm not looking at it like that. What young people fail to realize, and what they're not being told by the adults who are saying it's okay, is that emotionally, psychologically, you can't take it. Your body, your brain can't take it at one time. It's going to be like shut down. It's actually going to sort of shut down. I remember I was in the mall. I was minding my business in the mall, and this girl, I saw her coming towards me. She was in the middle of two boys. She was wearing the skimpiest, and I'm not just being my old-fashioned self right now, I'm just describing what I saw. She's wearing this very, very short skirt, and she was coming towards me, and I'm just thinking, wow, these boys must think they've got the jackpot. And as I was standing there, this woman walks past me facing this three young people coming, and turns out she knows the girl. And she started speaking to her, and I could hear from the question, yes, now I'm not minding my business, I'm listening. And I could hear from the questioning that she was thinking the same that I was thinking, that there can be no good coming at the end of this outing, whatever the outing is. And she tried to get the girl, and apparently we're going to the movies, we're going to watch the movies. And she tried to get this girl away from these two boys, but you could see the whole they had on her, they were old enough, it's just going to be a short movie. They said all sorts of things, and she couldn't get this girl away. She looked at them the way I was looking at them as they walked away. And I know that they're going to fondle that girl in the dark theater. And I'm not just, when I say I know, I didn't see it happen, but I have spoken to doctors before this and after this incident and this thing that I saw, who are seeing a lot of young girls, especially young girls who are coming into the rooms, the doctor's room. The parents can't figure out what's going on. The doctor's looking at them, and it's not a medical issue. Like it's more an emotional issue, a psychological issue, where these girls have gone blank. Things have been done to them, things have been done to their body, and not willingly. I will say that they haven't been raped in the sense that The girls have given consent to say, yes, I'm going along with this, but they really haven't wanted to do it. And after a while, and please, you know we've lived, we've lived. After a while, you begin to be like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? And there was a particular girl who just said, they're going to the movies and they just go down on the boys. I don't even know if that's allowed to be said on YouTube, so if I'm blamed out. But she said, they go down on the boys in the theater and all her friends are doing it. One thing that we all know with all my friends are doing it is that not all the friends are doing it. And some people are making up stories just to be cool. How do we get our young people from believing this bill of goods that have been sold? That no matter how many sex encounters you're having, and you think you're having it willingly, at one point, it's not just your body aging or, maybe it's going to show on your face. It's here in your head. It's how you think of yourself. It's how you see yourself, how you value yourself. Why am I doing this? You're going to start asking yourself at one point. And why do I have to do this? To buttress what I'm saying, the World Health Organization found that in 2020, the number of STIs amongst young people went really, really high. It says it's estimated that in 2020 that there were over 370 million new infections of STIs. New, not like reoccurring. 370 million STIs globally. That's crazy. That's really, really crazy. And this is not just in underdeveloped countries or what you call third world countries. It's everywhere. In America, after COVID and during COVID and just after COVID, even with all the education in Sweden, even with all the education that sex education that is compulsory in Sweden, STIs are growing amongst young people. You have boys who go and say, I've done this, I've done that. That happens. They might not have done it, but all the friends are doing it and they want to be one of the boys. They think it's cool. All the girls, or it seems like all the girls. That's always the thing. It's not everyone, but it seems like everybody's doing it and you don't want to be the only one not doing it. This is the point where you have to teach your child. It is so, so very necessary for you not to be one of the crowd, for you not to be one of the ones doing it. In a study that looked at the mental health of young people, girls and boys, it found that depression, mental issues, high depression, high anxiety, the scores were very high for females. The girls scored quite high in depression, unlike the boys. The boys, they didn't have the kind of result for the boys. The anxiety levels for the boys was low, but for the girls it was different. When are we going to tell our kids this is a lie? This is a lie. It will come back. It's almost like that saying, the evil that men do, live after them. In this case, okay, so you haven't done evil, but you know what you've done with yourself. You know the repercussions. And I think what we also need to let young people know, which is what I say to them, it's not about getting pregnant or not getting pregnant. It's not even about HIV, which by 2020, according to WHO, there are now 37 million people living with HIV. 37 million people. That's one too many. Young people, not only are they want to be one of the gang, which is where peer pressure comes in. They are also some of these girls who know better than sleeping with just anyone, who know better than sleeping with someone without protection. And the protection for the girl and even for the boy, it's not just the fact that we swallowed a pill, but they don't use a condom. I'm not saying give your kids condoms, I'm just stating facts as it is right now. So they don't use a condom, I don't know, for whatever reason. In the heat of the moment, I don't know. The boy says, I know it's funny the things that we keep hearing that the boy say. It has not changed since when I was young. The boy says things that I can't feel it. Really, like, who cares? But by that time, the girl is whether she wants to voluntarily or not, she's got herself into that situation where she's now been emotionally blackmailed into having sex without any kind of protection. And all sorts of, you've heard this before. If you're my age or even just younger, you've heard me say, I'm going to pull out before. I'm not going to come in you. Things we used to hear something when I was young. When I was a teenager, we heard that boys will say that if you stand by the wall and we do it standing up, you're not going to get pregnant. I remember saying this to one of my aunties, and she said, if you like, stand on your head. You will get pregnant if you will get pregnant. That's not how it works. That's not the biology of it. That's not how it works. So all these things are being told to girls. All these things are even being told to boys as well. Because some of them are also not ready for this. They're not emotionally ready for this. They don't want to be, all they know is they don't want to be fathers. They want to have fun, but they don't want to be fathers. How are we going to stop this misinformation? How can we re-educate our children, or educate our children properly about what is going on in the way they behave, the likely consequence of the way that they're behaving? So to make matters worse, not only are these young people lying to their friends, to their parents, they're also lying to health officials. So they will go to a doctor, and obviously if a young girl goes to a doctor, you're going to be there, right? The parent is going to be there. The child doesn't want you to know that they've been having sex, so they're quiet. They don't tell you the truth of exactly what is going on. I know maybe it's something they picked up on the toilet seat in school or in a public place or something like that, but they get treated and then it reoccurs again. After a while, some of them, depending on where they live, they will have someone who is supplying the medication for this. It's a very worrying, for me, it's a very, very worrying, thing for this kind of situation. Even girls that you think should know better and do better are not. Again, I'm putting the blame squarely on adults. These children are being sold a bill of goods. It's sour grapes, it's sour lemon, it's sour any way you look at it. When I'm not judging. Please, I'm not judging. I'm not judging your children. I'm not judging the young people. I'm judging them. I'm not judging young people. I'm looking at how what they're exposed to now, and I'm looking at how some parents have dropped the ball when it comes to parenting your child. When it comes to sexual matters, we have dropped the ball. Some parents have dropped the ball. We know that these kids don't come with parenting. There's no parenting 101 attached to their neck when they are born, but we have to do our work as parents. We cannot let the internet teach our children. If you are so embarrassed that you cannot talk to your child about sex or the ramifications of having sex at a particular age, or even the consequences of having multiple sexual partners, then you need to find someone who can do it. And when I say someone, I mean somebody you trust, somebody who give them just the facts of it, not something that is going to be sugar coated and you don't want to scare them. Please scare them. Scare the heck out of them. If that's what's going to do the job, then scare the heck out of them. My young child can tell you about reproduction and why. Not just what I've told her, but she had to do it in school, and she had to learn it, and she had to learn the the biological names and what goes up and what comes down and what happens when this happens. So now our eyes are clear. I mean, she's still like, oh, that's going to happen, and I'm fine. Let her be like that. You need to leave the door open for your children to come to you. You need to have that conversation. If you're a mom of if you're a single mom and you have boys, you need to find a male that you trust in your family to talk to your children. Not that uncle who is cool, who comes and changes girlfriends, that uncle who takes them to drink when you're not, who says it's okay, let them just taste a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Not the uncle that's going to pay for them to go sleep with someone when they turn 16 or when they turn 18. No, you need to get your children grounded. Do not let the society, do not let the world teach your children how to live or how to behave. This is very crucial and this is very urgent. We cannot wait any longer. We cannot. Whatever it is I say now, I'm going to be repeating myself because I've said what needs to be said. We just need to be aware of what is going on with our children and to know that it will come back. It will come back. It will come back to bite you in one way or the other. Or rather, to bite them in one way or the other. I hope it doesn't, but why be sorry when you can just avoid it? It's been Coffee with Temi. Take care.